Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday Learning Bhagavatam class. Thank you for joining so early. And today's class is on Canto 6, Chapter 11, the Transcendental Qualities of Vṛtrāsura. And our guest speaker is Nritya Mataji. Welcome, Mataji. Over to you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Dharmendra Prabhu. Hi, Krishna, everyone. So thank you, and it's always nice to be back to the Learning Bhagavatam audience, and thank you for coming this evening. Thank you, Dharmendra Prabhu, for kind of allowing me to speak a few words, every few weeks here and there, on something on Bhagavatam, which is, of course, very uplifting, very inspiring, not just for those who are hearing, but also for those who are sharing. We come here with that open thought that yes, Bhagavatam will unfold more messages for us, and together, we can always learn together and churn together. So I'll start off with our usual prayers, and then after that, I'll share something on this chapter 11, and then we can have some question and answers around that. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Swaprajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shah. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचलं भंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपादं वन्दे Shri Gunatina Tarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya. Thank you. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, so today's session will be, will be interactive. So we will, we'll read it together because it's a very beautiful chapter, like many other chapters in Bhagavatam. This is another beautiful one, always giving us a lesson. And actually, if we start from the heading of this chapter, it is called as the Transcendental Qualities of Vṛtrāsura. Now, if you have been reading so far, if you have been following so far, basically, we all know who is Vṛtrāsura, by the way. The name says he's actually his name has the word Asura, which means he's a demon. Now, if you just read the chapter name, that's quite intriguing, then how come like we have a demon, we have an Asura who has transcendental qualities? So that is what we will unpack today. We'll uncover today that how come that an Asura has and if you see the picture here, this is a painting made by one of the devotees, and he's very big, he's very tall, like the looks like a demon, very, very fiery looks. And so how can we know about the transcendental qualities of such kind of personality, who is actually a demon? So let's look a bit of a background. So Vṛtrāsura is is a demon who is created by Tvashta. Tvashta is Vishwarupa's father. And so basically, I think you've been covering it so far all these weeks that Indra actually, he upsets his spiritual master, Brahaspati. And because he has upset his spiritual master, then he loses his strength. And then the demons actually, they attack Indra. He loses his power, position, and then he of course goes to Lord Brahma for help. Lord Brahma actually assigns Vishwarup, one of the Brahmanas, to help demigods as a spiritual master. Vishwarupa then does a sacrifice for the demigods, but in the end, but because Vishwarupa comes, he belongs to a demonic family from his mother's side, so he ends up putting, some oblations in the fire in the name of the demons. So this really upsets Indra, and he actually kills Vishwarupa. And then Twashta is Vishwarupa's father, who's very, of course, upset. And he actually does another fire sacrifice because he wants to kill Indra, but then he pronounces some mantras wrong, and instead of killing Indra, a demon is born, and that is Vṛtrāsura. So in a sense, Vṛtrāsura is actually Vishwarupa's brother, and he knows the purpose of his birth is actually to kill Indra because he's come here to revenge his brother's killing. But then now, ultimately, he ends up on a battlefield. But then, ultimately, there is so much of fighting going on that the demons, they actually run away. They leave him alone. And ultimately, he's left there fighting, with Indra on his own. And he knows that Indra has a weapon, which is again, given to him by Lord Vishnu to kill him. So, if you look at it, the whole setting is actually quite negative, quite, uh, quite upsetting in the sense that there's nothing positive about it. He's on a battlefield, he's alone, he's fighting, he has a weapon, and of course he has a demon body, right? And he knows that the weapon on the opposite side is actually meant to kill him. There is no chance that he's going to survive. So now from this whole pastime, what we will learn is that how do we understand, right? That how we can actually still have a very devotee consciousness, even if our externals, even if our own, psychophysical nature, you know, e- all our externals are actually quite opposite. But how we could still have a devotee consciousness. So now, like the chapter says, it's all about transcendental qualities of Vṛtrāsura. But what are the transcendental qualities, right? Anybody would like to share something that what do we mean by transcendental qualities, and where do we see these references in some of the scriptures that we read, like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita? What do we mean by transcendental qualities? You can just unmute yourself and share something.
Humbleness.
Humbleness, okay, thank you.
Kindness.
Kindness.
Not have any grudge.
Not have any grudge, okay. But where are these qualities mentioned? Generally, if I want to go and see, where are the transcendental qualities mentioned in our scriptures? How do we see? Prabhupada has taught us that whatever we are hearing, whatever we are sharing, has to be backed by some scriptural reference. So first of all, we need to understand what are the scriptural references that we have for understanding the real transcendental qualities. Anybody would like to share anything? Any scripture that you know which talks about transcendental qualities?
Devotional
Bhagavatam.
activity.
Sorry?
Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam. Any verses, Mataji, you can think of?
Devotional
Krishna's
activity.
qualities. They talk about how Krishna had all the 64 qualities.
Okay, that's very nice. That is Krishna's qualities, 64 qualities. Thank you. We have Sadhavi Mataji who has raised her hand.
Devotional activity, I want to say.
Devotional activity, okay. Any scriptural reference anybody would like to share?
Yeah, how about Bhagavad Gita, divine and demonic nature? There's a whole chapter on this.
Thank you very much. Sorry, who was this? I didn't.
Shravan Kumar Das.
Shravan Kumar Prabhu. Thank you
Hare
very
Krishna.
much. Actually, this is what, we have to understand always some scriptural reference of when we are trying to kind of, build on that knowledge. So this is what we'll be doing today. What we have here in the next slide is we'll be looking at some transcendental qualities. And then what we will be doing is we'll be going verse by verse in this chapter. It's not a very big chapter. There are only about 26, 27 verses. And then we will see that how each verse talks to the Goswami is actually glorifying, he's narrating, and through that narration, how we can pick up these transcendental qualities when we compare it with that verse. So the verse that I have here is what Prabhuji mentioned, the verse from chapter 16 in Bhagavad Gita, texts 1 to 3. So let's, if I can have 3 volunteers who can actually recite these 3 verses for me, that would be really nice. And then we would also read the English translation. Anybody we could have 3 volunteers, please. Yeah, don't be shy. Even if you don't know Sanskrit, that's fine. We can just recite it.
I can try.
I would like to do one, Mataji.
Yeah, please. Anybody, yeah. Was that Geeta Mataji? If you would like to
Yeah.
go, please. Yeah, and then we can have Jai Mataji going next. Yeah.
Mataji, let her do the first one. I'll do the second one.
Okay, thank you. Jai Mataji, you go first. Yeah.
Oh dear. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Abhyam Sattva Samshuddhir Gnana Yoga Vyavastita Danam Damascha Yagnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Beautiful.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Geeta.
Ahimsa satyamakrодha shantirapaishunam daya bhuteshvaloluptvam mardavam hrirachapalam.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone? The last words, please.
Shall I do the third one, Mataji?
Yes, please go, Mataji. Yeah.
Tejah kshama dhrutih shaucham adroho natimanita bhavanti sampadam daivim abhijatasya bharata. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. So anyone would like to read English translation, which I know it's a much simpler than the Sanskrit version.
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, please. Please.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of God had said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation, spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to the fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from
Covetousness.
covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men and with divine nature.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Beautiful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So these are the qualities Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. These are the qualities, the divine qualities, the transcendental qualities that belong to godly men endowed with divine nature, right? So this is very important, Krishna is saying these are with divine nature. So this is not talking about our externals. This is not talking about, anything to do with our external situation. This is talking about our nature, which is very much internal, which very much belongs to us and our known. And if we see these qualities in people around us, in devotees around us, definitely these are transcendental qualities. And this is exactly what we will do. We will see that how, not to kind of judge Vṛtrāsura, but we will see how Vṛtrāsura's, is on the scale, like if you see. And of course, when you read these verses, you will see some of these qualities overlap, but we'll take it one by one. We'll just unpack how beautifully, these qualities are shown, and how these personalities in Bhagavatam are showing us that, you can have these qualities in all circumstances. Remember, with the background that we have done, that he's a demon, He has nobody. He's left on his own, and he knows he's in a situation that he's not just going to lose, but he's actually going to die. So he knows the plan of the Lord and how he surrendered to that plan of the Lord, that he is, even his response to the situation is better than the opposite party who knows it's going to win. Right? So you can see how our responses are driven by our nature, that even if something is all the time in somebody's favor, in a personality like Indra, everything is in his favor, right? But still his response is not as good as somebody who's a demon, and nothing is in his control, nothing is in his favor as well. And actually he says in one of the verses that the Lord is with you. Okay, let's start now. Let's start looking at Vṛtrāsura's transcendental qualities. Okay, so what I've done is I've got this verse on the bottom. So you will always be able to make out, if I'll ask you which quality do you think this verse is, you can look at these qualities and tell me, right? And like I said, some of these qualities will overlap, but we'll just take it one by one, just for the sake of discussion. We'll look at one quality at one time. So this is verse number 2 and 3. If somebody can read this, please. What does it say? This is the translation of the verse 2 and 3. Please, we need more participation. Just unmute yourself and go ahead. Okay, let me start. Seeing the pitiable condition of his soldiers, Vṛtrāsura, the best of the asuras, who was called Indrashatru, the enemy of Indra, was very much aggrieved. What do you think this quality, if you look at the list at the bottom of the slide, what quality does this represent?
Compassion, Mataji.
Compassion, yes. So the first quality that we see is compassion. This is the first quality of every devotee. Srila Prabhupada explains. Actually, this is how we understand the heart of a devotee, the compassion, that the love for all the living entities, to be able to understand that, yes, the other soul, the souls, as they say, para dukha dukhi. In fact, there is a very famous saying in English which says that it takes a good man to be to be sad when somebody is sad, but it takes a great man to be happy when somebody is really happy. So we are like that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in one of the bhajans that how we are, our nature is like that we are happy when somebody else is sad. We are happy to see other souls sad. So compassion is a very, very rare quality, that when you are aggrieved, when the other souls are in difficulty. And this is the reason why we are all here, because it was Srila Prabhupada's compassion actually that brought us all, into Krishna consciousness. His heart, the way he felt, that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he actually met Srila Prabhupada, and on a number of occasions he would tell Srila Prabhupada that the message of Bhagavad Gita is for the whole world. This is how acharyas are, they feel that the message is for everybody. It's not just for India. The message of Bhagavad Gita is for the whole world, because the whole world is suffering, right? So this is the first quality of any devotee, compassion. Okay, let's look at the next verse. Okay, anyone would like to read?
Can I read, Mataji?
Please, yes. Thank you.
O demigods, these demoniac soldiers have taken birth uselessly. Indeed, they have come from the bodies of their mothers, exactly like stool. What is the benefit of killing such enemies from behind while they are running in fear? One who considers himself a hero should not kill an enemy who is afraid of losing his life. Such killing is never glorious, nor can it promote one to the heavenly planets.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So this is here. Now Vṛtrāsura is talking about the soldiers on his side, because they have all run away. They are fearing that there's a huge attack, and they've all run away and they've left him alone. But then what happens is that when they are running away, the demigods are actually attacking them. So now this is an instruction that he's giving to demigods, that why are you attacking them? They're running in fear. They're already like almost dead, because they have no strength. They are not real warriors, and do not kill an enemy who is afraid. Okay, so what quality do you think from the translation below from Bhagavad Gita? What quality do we see here? There are many actually, but there's one we could pick up.
Fearlessness.
Sorry?
Fearlessness.
Fearlessness, yes. Anything else?
I would say
Non-violence.
Aversion,
Non-violence.
aversion to fault finding.
Yeah, non-violence actually. This is very important because although, remember, see, he's on a battlefield, right? Which is like the place of violence, which is the place of killing the enemy. But what he's promoting is that even if you fight with religiousness, with just, that should be a just fighting. It should not be like, okay, we are mercilessly and randomly killing. So he's actually a non-violent person at heart. And in fact, if we see that in first canto, when we read that how Ashwathama actually kills Draupadi's sons while they're sleeping, he thinks that they are Pandavas and he actually kills them. So when he comes back and he informs Duryodhan about it, Duryodhan is very, very upset with Ashwathama. Remember, the whole Mahabharata, Duryodhan has fought with unscrupulous methods, by cheating. But even he found it so heinous that you have actually killed someone. He got very upset with Ashwathama. Why have you done this? You've killed someone who is sleeping and you've killed them at night. In Mahabharata, it is explained that, when the Mahabharata war was going on, they were very particular. There was certain code of conduct that they would follow even when they are fighting, so like they would fight only when it's sunrise, between sunrise and sunset. So they would not fight at certain times. They would not fight at certain ways, so these are the ways. But even if we are doing a fight, with Kshatriyas, people, with the kings, that also has to follow a certain code of conduct. And that would show actually that, they are basically non-violent at heart. It's not about, merciless killing, that's not what we want to follow. Okay, thank you. Let's go to the next one. Yes. Anyone?
I'll read.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
insignificant demigods, if you truly have faith in your heroism, if you have patience in the cause of your heart, and if you are not ambitious for sense gratification, please stand before me for a moment.
Yes. Okay. What quality do you see here?
I'd say a sense of detachment from the fruits of work, the
Okay.
outcome.
Detachment, yes, definitely. Anything specific, the way he's talking, what tells you about his personality? Please stand before me for a moment. You're talking of fearlessness here. He is so fearless, right? He's not worried that he's alone on the battlefield, right? Just remember the setting every time we are reading this, and then you would be able to make it out very clearly. And he's saying that, if you have faith in your heroism, right? That means if you really believe you are strong, you're powerful, come and stand before me, right? If you have patience in the core of your hearts, if you're ready to wait, you're not anxious, right? And if you're not ambitious for sense gratification, in the sense that if you're not worried whether you're going to lose or you're going to win, right? That is real fearlessness, right? Why do we talk about, like, you see, even when you look at Srila Prabhupada's life, when you see, his life trajectory. He's 70 almost when he boards the Jaladuta, which is a cargo ship actually, and he's just doing it because he feels that is his that he has to follow the instructions of his spiritual master. So that's why we talk of that fearless nature even in Srila Prabhupada. Right. And in fact, I was reading the conversations the other day, and this is, the series of conversations which are in the book form. And I was reading actually the preface before that. And in the preface, I'm not sure who has written it because there's no name written there, but there's a very beautiful line written about Srila Prabhupada there, which struck with me. It said that Srila Prabhupada relished challenges. So that is actually the fearless nature of a pure devotee. He wouldn't worry about the outcome, but they just want to kind of face the situation and face it gracefully. That is real, fearlessness. And that is what we see with Vṛtrāsura here as well. Okay, is everyone with me? Is everyone okay so far, right? I hope the pace is fine.
Yes,
Okay,
Mataji.
thank you. Let's go to the next one. Anyone would like to read?
I can read, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
Sukadeva Goswami said, Vṛtrāsura, the angry and most powerful hero, terrified the demigods with his stout and strongly built body. When he roared with a resounding voice, nearly all living entities fainted.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Okay, anyone would like to say which quality? There are a number of qualities here, but we'll focus on one. Most powerful hero, strongly
Determination, Mataji.
determination. Okay, he rode with a resounding voice. Yes. What else can we see here? So much of vigor, so much of fortitude, strength, bravery, right? Which is what describes a real warrior. The warriors, they say the warrior's jewel is his bravery, because that's what they are made for. That's what they are about to display, that their strength and their fearlessness. So if you see this, he roared with a resounding voice. So that means he had so much of power, right? And even like, again, going back to the setting, I'll keep coming to that. Even if he has nobody with him, he could still roar at a sound that nearly, like it says, nearly all living entities fainted. So that is the power. That was this kind of the strength, the bravery he had. Nothing was kind of affecting him. He was so fixed. He was so fixed in his duty that he has to fight. Right. So much of strength and bravery that he's displaying here while he's facing Indra, and that too he's facing alone. Okay, let's go to the next one. Anyone would like to read this?
I can read for you, Mataji.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
When he saw Indra's carrier elephant thus fatigued and injured, and when he saw Indra morose because his carrier had been harmed in that way, the great soul Vṛtrāsura, following religious principles, refrained from again striking Indra with the club. Taking this opportunity, Indra touched the elephant with his nectar-producing hand, thus relieving the animal's pain and curing its injuries. Then the elephant and Indra both stood silently.
Yeah, so there he is again. What happens is that Indra actually throws a club on him, but then he just picks it up with his left hand, and he throws it back on Indra and Airavat, who is the carrier for Indra. And it hits Airavat so badly that it actually throws him, like, I think it's something like 14 yards away or something. It's mentioned in the past time that it throws him, and that's when it gets that Airavat gets so he's bleeding and he's really, really injured. So now, but he sees that, but then he decides that he's not going to kind of attack the elephant anymore, because the elephant is already injured. And we can see this is exactly what he did in the previous verses also, non-violence. But there's something more that we see here.
Gentleness.
Gentleness, yes, very good.
Compassion,
yes.
He's learned in the scriptures.
He's learned in scriptures, yes.
He demonstrates self-control.
Absolutely, so spot on. He demonstrates self-control, freedom from anger, that he knows when to get angry, he knows when not to get angry, right? So like, this is like, as they say, a soldier is like that, who understands which are the situations which require anger, and which are the situations that don't require anger. And when he's seeing that the other party is innocent, surrendered, or kind of weak, then he practices self-control. He knows, like, that now is the time I have to pull myself back and let the opposite party, recover. This is what he does. Similar thing, like when we see Srila Prabhupada, he's fighting the Juhu battle. He knows there are moments when he's very upset, very, very upset with Mr. Nair, who's the one who was trying to cheat him, through that property. And but there are moments, when Srila Prabhupada, he practices, self-control. He knows that in those situations, even when Mr. Nair's wife, when she comes to meet him after Mr. Nair's death, and she signs the paper, then Srila Prabhupada tells her that, you're like my daughter. So this is how the devotees are. This is how their qualities are. He knew when he had to show anger. And it is actually said that in that pastime, it was actually Srila Prabhupada's Kshatriya nature that was being, displayed through that interaction. So, yeah, but he practiced, Vṛtrāsura, coming back to Vṛtrāsura, he practiced self-control, and he was not showing his anger here. He controlled his anger. Okay, let's look another one, number 18. Who wants to go next? I'd like to hear for
Hare
someone who has
Krishna.
not spoken. Yes,
Can I go next?
please. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. But if in this battle you cut off my head with your thunderbolt and kill my soldiers, O Indra, O great hero, I shall take great pleasure in offering my body to other living entities, such as jackals and vultures. I shall thus be relieved of my obligations to the reactions of my karma, and my fortune will be to receive the dust from the lotus feet of great devotees like Narada Muni.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you, Manjeet. Beautiful, beautiful. See now, can you see the transformation in his personality, in his character? That he starts off, his fight, he's alone, but now he knows, he's aware, very well aware of the fact that the weapon that Indra is carrying is actually meant to kill him, So he's now getting to a point where he's reconciling, which shows a certain type of, his personality. What do you think that is from the verse that we've got it in the bottom, Bhagavad Gita verse?
Freedom from
Renunciation.
envy.
Renunciation.
Renunciation. Okay, yes.
Freedom from envy.
Freedom from envy. Yes.
Spiritual knowledge.
Spiritual knowledge. Yes. So these are the two things: cultivation of spiritual knowledge and purification of one's existence. He knows that even if he loses his body, he is going to be benefited. He knows that if he loses his body, then he will ultimately actually attain, liberation. He will go back to Godhead. He will be serving, Krishna and his devotees. So he is also very spiritually inclined. Although, again, let's go back to the background. He's in a demoniac body. But, we will talk about it in a little while, about his past life and how he remembered all this. But he's actually, and he's making sure that even with this demoniac body, the opportunity that he's got, that you wants to use that, like purification of one's existence, like Srila Prabhupada always says that, whichever way you are, whatever be your situation, just practice Krishna consciousness. Why? You don't have to change your ashram, you don't have to change your, situation or anything, but just practice Krishna consciousness. Just add Krishna to your life, because why? Prabhupada knows that through this, our existence will be purified. So just like Prabhupada says, just to chant the holy name, and it will purify us. And we do see that, a lot of us, we do see those changes in how our thoughts, how our actions, how our words, these are all purified over a period of time. So that this is the process of purifying one's existence in whichever body, whichever physical form we are in. And Vṛtrāsura is aware. He's an asura, he's a demon, but he's aware that ultimately, even if he dies, he will be relieved from his karmic reactions, and he will be ultimately at the lotus feet of great devotees like Narad Muni. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay. Who would like to go next?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Any
Hare
question?
Yes, please.
O Indra, king of heaven, the thunderbolt you carry to kill me has been empowered by the powerless prowess of Lord Vishnu and the strength of the teaches austerities. Since you have come here to kill me in accordance with Lord Vishnu's order, there is no doubt that I shall be killed by the release of your thunderbolt. Lord Vishnu has sided with you. Therefore, your victory, opulence, and all good qualities are assured.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. I think someone mentioned something in the last verse, some quality, which actually links up here, that he knows now Lord Vishnu is with you, he says. What quality are we seeing here? Yeah, freedom from envy, freedom from honor. He's not worried that he's going to be losing the battle. He's not worried that Indra has got a weapon that will actually make him victorious. He's saying, Lord Vishnu is with you. Therefore, your victory, opulence, and all good qualities are assured because the Lord is with you. Like it says even in the last verses of Bhagavad Gita, it says, wherever there is Krishna, there is opulence, there is victory. Vijay Vibhuti, it says there. So this is how he is, another, like, again, like what we normally see that because the physical appearance is like of a demon, the birth is like that of a demon, then, we would expect, okay, that person would be very envious. That person would always be running after, defeating, like we see so many examples in scriptures with demoniac bodies uh, that we see envy, we see running after wealth, running after opulence, but he's very happy. If Indra's got it, he's very happy for Indra that you've got it, you've got that blessing, right? And I'm happy for you. So you have victory, you have opulence, and you have good qualities because the Lord is with you. You have the blessings of the Lord. Right, and he's not worried. Again, if you see, we're only talking about one or two qualities here, but if you see the verse shows you a lot of things about him. There are other qualities also. He's not worried. He says, you have come here to kill me, and according to the Lord Vishnu's plan. So he's fine. He's fearless about it. Then also he's very renunciant. He's renounced that he knows that this is the plan of the Lord and he has to accept it. Right, so he's happy to accept Krishna's plan because he knows, actually, in the verses in the next chapter, Srila Prabhupada explains that he's happy because he knows that Krishna is actually planning his death sooner, because so he can actually be liberated, because we will read in the forthcoming chapters that who is he, and we'll read about Chitraketu, and actually Vṛtrāsura's previous birth was King Chitraketu, and how he got cursed from Parvati Devi, actually. And then he ended up in this body. So actually, he is a devotee at heart, but who has ended up in that body because of that curse. But then again, his devotee consciousness was so dominant that he could actually carry that consciousness even in a demoniac body. And that is what is very, very important. And that is why, if you see, Prabhupada calls this Krishna consciousness, because that is what we are carrying to our with us, life after life. Everything else we will leave. Everything gross, everything is temporary. We will leave behind. But our consciousness, our holy name, our love for the holy name, the taste for the holy name, these are the kind of things. Our relationship with Krishna. This is something that you'll be carrying life after life. And Vṛtrāsura is actually a great example of that. That even in a demoniac body, he could carry his devotee consciousness, and in fact, if you see, I mean, maybe if in a way, not in a very extreme sense, we are all demons in certain way or the other, right? This is what Srila Prabhupada explains, that how we have both divine and demoniac, personalities within us. But then what happens is that in a normal material circumstances, it is our demoniac consciousness that is always tending to go up. The Kali Yuga effect is there. But when we start practicing Krishna consciousness, when we start chanting the holy name, the demoniac tendencies, they go down and the divine tendencies, they come up. So to a certain extent, we are all demons in a certain way, some sense or the other. But if we practice Krishna consciousness, then we will be carrying these divine tendencies with us, even in this body as well as in the next body. And through that, we can be actually liberated, So it really doesn't matter what body we have. What Prabhupada and what this pastime is explaining us, that it's our nature. This is what the verse also says. Godly men endowed with divine nature. That is what really matters, no matter whatever is the birth, whatever is the physical form. Okay, so now we have a few verses where he's praying. Okay, so these are called as the prayers of Vṛtrāsura, very powerful prayers, and he's now exhibiting his devotee nature. And we'll just read through these prayers and kind of meditate and see how it connects us, with Krishna. And then we'll take up some questions, towards the end. So, anyone would like to read?
I'll read.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. By the force of your thunderbolt, I shall be freed of material bondage and shall give up this body and this world of material desires. Fixing my mind upon the lotus feet of Lord Sankarsana, I shall attain the destination of such great sages as Narad Muni, just as Lord Sankarsana has said. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful, yeah. Destination of such great sages is Narad Muni. So we are looking to follow the great sages, the great devotees. Okay, let's read this one. Anyone would like to talk? Would like to read, sorry?
I can do again, Mataji. Oh, okay, somebody is ready.
You go ahead, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Oh my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant, so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes, my words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your Lordship.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. This is such a beautiful verse, actually. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that this is the sum and substance of devotional life. That will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet. Right? So he is a devotee from the past life, but he's cursed and by the Parvati, and so he's missing that status, that circumstances, those situations where he's the servant of the servant. And actually, that is what Vishnu Puran says, that, higher than the highest form of worship is of Lord Vishnu, but higher than the worship of Lord Vishnu is the worship of the devotee of Lord Vishnu. So when we talk about, how to progress, a lot of times, I have devotees who are trying to find out, okay, how do I progress in my Krishna consciousness, this and that. So the golden rule is just serve the devotees. We always talk about, okay, I want to serve Krishna. But no, that's incomplete. I want to serve Krishna and his devotees, not just Krishna, because you cannot have a direct relationship with Krishna. Krishna is actually more pleased if we are serving the devotees, So I again be able to be a servant of your servants. That should be our prayer, that, how I can serve the devotee who's serving you. And this is what, and we have Srila Prabhupada in our lives, like, we don't have to go very far. Just serve Srila Prabhupada and his mission, and and Krishna will be pleased. The rest will be taken care by Srila Prabhupada. We don't have to worry too much about it. Okay, let's do. I think we just have a couple of more verses left, and then we can move towards Q&A. Okay, last two verses to read.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Please, yes.
O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvalok, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary system. I do not desire to be master of the powers of the mystic yoga. Nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Exactly. So see how beautiful these prayers are, that he's only looking to be at the lotus feet of the Lord. He doesn't want anything else. He says, if somebody is asking me to exchange your lotus feet against all of these things, I do not want them. I don't want the Dhruva Loka. I don't want the heavenly planets. He has no desire for any sort of money, wealth, fame, or anything. Like, they say that, when we are on a path to devotional service, there are many distractions. There are many distractions on the way, but we also always have to be fixed and focused that, it is the lotus feet of the Lord that we desire, because that is where we can offer some seva. That is where we can offer, ourselves and our abilities and our whole consciousness and our existence in the service of the Lord and his devotees. So everything else is, like as says Dhruv Maharaj says, everything is just about broken glasses. They are all broken glasses. Dhruv Maharaj actually compares this, he calls, when he takes darshan of Lord Vishnu, when he hears from him, he says, you know what, I've got the diamond now. I'm not looking for broken glasses. So for all of these things are compared to broken glasses against the service of the Lord, which is the real diamond, which is the real treasure. Okay, the last verse, please. Anyone?
I can read it, Mataji.
Please, you thank you.
Oh, my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything that I have be attached only to you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Manas deho geho kichu more. So everything that you've given me, Krishna, whether it is me, my body, my family, my friends, my relatives, I offer everything to you, because that is what the real, renunciation is, that everything is to be used in the service of Krishna. This is Rupa Goswami's principle, that and then this is what actually Srila Prabhupada has taught us, and this is whole how he has made the basis of our movement, the Krishna conscious movement, is that whatever we have, just offer it to Krishna. Whatever abilities we have, whatever skills we have, whatever things that we can do, whatever possessions that we have, everything can be used in the service of Krishna. We all have something that we can offer to Krishna, right? So we don't have to really feel or that, okay, this devotee is doing more or this devotee is doing that. So we don't really have to be a copy of anyone. We are all unique. Krishna wants to have a unique relationship with us, and Krishna has made us all very different and very unique, and each one of us can offer something back to Krishna that he's given us. So beautiful prayers. I mean, it's not a very big chapter if you can spare some time, and there's not like too many purports either. Prabhupada has written very few purports here, but very instructive, very profound. There's a lot that we can learn, from all the other pastimes and the personalities that we have in Bhagavatam. So please go back and try to read at your own time, whenever it's possible for you. Okay, so think we are about 8:45. Dharmendra Prabhu, we can take some questions if anybody would like to ask.
Thank you very much, Mataji. That was really a beautiful class there. If anyone wishes to ask a question, please raise your hand. I'll start off if that's okay. So when you were talking about the demonic nature, I was thinking, well, how should one self-reflect on themselves to check their demonic nature, and which qualities should we continuously focus on?
Okay, so how do we continuously reflect? I think this is done with the help of Srila Prabhupada says there are 3 pillars of our spiritual life: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So if we are constantly in touch with these 3 personalities, then we have the mirrors. These are the 3 mirrors, you can say, of our lives: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, who are constantly observing us through our service, through our sadhana, our mentors, our friends, the devotees around us, and we can always talk to them. And and it's very natural that when we are practicing like anything in the world, we will have our natural set of challenges. We will have our responses to them, our natural responses to them. And a lot of time I've seen devotees, we don't tend to kind of talk too much about it. But it's always good that whenever we have done something, whenever how we are responding to situations, how we are doing in our day-to-day lives, it's always good to, have your friends and your mentors and the devotees around you, and always asking them, how do you think I've done in this situation? What is the feedback that you have? So yeah, if how do we kind of develop these qualities? I would say yes, stay connected to Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and they will, then Krishna will make the arrangement that you will keep getting the messages of where we have done right, where we have done not so right, and where we can improve. That's all I would say.
Okay. And the second part was which qualities should we continuously focus on?
That's very, very, very nice question, actually. But I personally, if you ask me, I think the first and the foremost quality that I would say, and this is actually mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada writes in chapter 2, I think first or the second, very first or the second verse, he writes that in the purport that faith is the most important ingredient of our Krishna conscious life. So if there is something that we really want to, and developing faith in Kali Yuga, developing faith in the age of quarrel and hypocrisy can be the most challenging part, because we do not know what is authentic and what is not authentic, right? And in fact, Bhagavatam, very few verses, first few verses of the Bhagavatam talks about cheating religion. So in that kind of situation, developing faith is very, very difficult. So I would say that as devotees, the first thing that we have to do is to develop faith. Again, faith in Guru Sadhu Shastra, again linking it back, because then only we can actually develop other things. We cannot do this on our own, right? If anybody of us thinks that we can do it on our own alone, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur clearly mentions in his book Vaishnav, okay, you cannot do this alone. We need devotees around us. So I think the first thing I would say is to develop faith, and then on top of it, everything else will build, because we believe in all these things. We believe in scriptures. I'm sure a lot of you would have encountered this situation that, we have family members, we have relatives, we have people around us who are constantly questioning, okay, how do you know what you're doing is correct? How do you know whether this actually happened, whether these pastimes are just mythology or there's some history, so they're constantly kind of challenging us. So having that faith, I think, is very, very important, because like Prabhupada says, it's the basic ingredient of our Krishna conscious practice. And then of course, on top of it, yes, all of these qualities that we are mentioned, and I would say rather that we are all endowed with these qualities. It's just the degree is varying in all of us, because we are also covered by the modes. So constantly keep watching yourself that, okay, how can I develop more compassion, more friendship, but if you develop faith, then automatically we will be attracted towards the practice and other things will follow.
Okay, thank you very much. That was really wonderful answer there.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any further questions at all? Okay, Geeta, go on. Mataji, would you like to ask a question?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. More than a question, I just wanted to thank you very much. It was a wonderful class, and then all these qualities and things like that. I was really impressed that purification of ourselves from whatever level we are, at least we can improve slightly by doing the activities and having the association. You reinforced in me and probably with everyone. Thank you very much for that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, Nivrina, Mataji, would you like to ask your question, please?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for the beautiful lesson. I just want to add and say that the lesson that I learned from today is what I'm taking away from this lesson today is that when we come across people in our normal situations, like work situations, especially where colleagues are like bad people or not people that we would want to associate with. It has taught me that I should actually become aware of their good side and start looking for the good in them instead of only just concentrating on their bad qualities. And this lesson today, I'm taking that message from here, from this lesson today, is that everybody, no matter how horrible they are, they actually do have these good qualities in them. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a very beautiful reflection, Mataji. And if actually we can develop that appreciation for everyone around us, a lot of times we know when we are in a devotee community, we tend to kind of have those demarcations that, okay, this person is a devotee, this is a non-devotee. But no, like Prabhupada says in Nectar of Devotion, actually, in one of the lines that he makes, he says, all of us are devotees, which means that all of us are endowed with these qualities. Some of us know about it, some of us don't know about it, right? So to be able to see those qualities in everyone and to have that kind of a vision is really, really a God gift, and if we all can work towards that, that is the most beautiful thing that can happen to anyone. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I think we have Jai Mataji next.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. I really loved this class today. The way you broke each and every verse, and then you picked out the qualities, the transcendental qualities. I really like that. But my question, it may be a bit silly one, but in one of the verses, I think was it verse 21, there is a mention that he wanted to fix his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Shankarshana. So is there a reason why that particular form of Vishnu, is a form of Vishnu, isn't it? Is it a Garbhodaksh Vishnu? I don't know much about it, but I just was intrigued why Lord Shankarshan was mentioned rather than any other form.
Yeah, I don't see any description, Mataji, there.
No, there isn't. Yeah,
there is nothing mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in that purport, but I believe it's just that he's trying to meditate on the Lord, and this is my reflection, and while he's meditating, there are different forms of the Lord that are coming in front of him, that is coming in his memory and in his consciousness, and he's offering the prayers. But again, no matter whichever form of the Lord, we offer our prayers to, ultimately it is taking us closer to the Lord. That is the general principle. But yeah, there is no explanation by Srila Prabhupada in that purport of why specifically he's talking of Lord Shankarshan.
Thank you.
So Devi Mataji.
Sorry, who wanted to talk before me? Sorry.
So Devi Mataji, would you like to ask a question?
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for today's class. I have to first tell you a scenario, and then I want to ask you to please help me to understand it.
Sure.
Let's say there is someone who has been tortured very badly without knowing why, was tortured. And then when this person comes to the freedom, this person always believe in God, always. But this person now develop a kind of fear instead of, because when I come to Krishna consciousness, it talks very much about do devotional service with love, chant with love, say with love, and all the time it's with love. Mm-hmm. But then this person says, I don't know what love is, but I have very, very strong belief in the Supreme Lord, the highest Supreme Lord, the Creator. So, my question is, isn't it faith also kind of love?
Absolutely, Mataji. You're very right. Faith is kind of love. Actually, if we read the stages of devotional service, the foundation of our journey towards prema, towards the love of Godhead, which is the highest, the pinnacle of, the devotional service, the foundation is called as Adau Shraddha. And Adau Shraddha, if you look at it, it is actually translated as little bit of faith, right? So little bit of faith, because that means you are there, you are, we are coming, which is what the situation with most of us is. This is how we start our Krishna consciousness, that okay, we feel that yes, there is something in there. Okay, let me just go to the temple, let me just pray to Krishna. And the other day I was in a class and somebody asked me that, Prabhupada says in one of the purports that even if you are looking for some material desires, it's always good to go to Krishna, even if you're looking for a material desire, even if you're not a pure devotee, right? So then somebody was asking that, is it okay that if we are praying to Krishna for fulfilling our material desires? But Prabhupada says that is fine, rather than going to demigods, it's good to go to Krishna and ask for fulfillment of your material desires. Because why Prabhupada is encouraging, that? Why Prabhupada is? Because he says that's the beginning. That's the beginning of how you will start to develop your love for Krishna, right? That initially it will be like with some exchange, but then slowly, as you go more towards Krishna, Krishna will make an arrangement through his devotees, and he will teach you how to have a selfless love as well. So faith, like as we said, we were talking in the beginning, that Prabhupada says it's the most important ingredient of our Krishna consciousness, because that is what is the foundation of our journey to prema. Right? So yes, faith, as you said, is also a form of love. Because otherwise, if you, how would you, even if we look around our own material circles also, like our friends and our family, our children, our spouses, if we love them, we have faith in them. Or if we have faith in them, then we love them because we want to look after them. We want to express, our devotion for them. So faith definitely, forms the foundation of love. That is the starting point, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is Shraddha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavata Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavata.
I like to just appreciate your class. It's a wonderful class. You make us understand very easily which one was difficult before, what we should looking for, what we need to understand. But I do agree. I like to share my thought. It's one of them because I have got all the qualities within myself as well, and it's just I'm trying to pick up from here, not finding fault. Finding fault, it is just finding fault. Just we have this is human nature, finding fault on in the person you're talking, or just a friendship, or just in society, or wherever we go. We always try to find the finger towards the others, but we do forget. We pointing only one finger to the others and three fingers
towards us. Yeah.
So means if I'm trying to pick one fault in the other one, so I have got 3 times more than that person. And I need to watch myself, what I'm doing it. And also we only see whatever we want to see, whatever we want to feel about the other person. Because everybody have, as other Matas said, everybody have, no matter how bad person is, they have really good qualities too, but we don't want to see it, or we can't see it. Like just an example always given, if I'm wearing dark glasses, I wouldn't be able to see the sun very clear. So I need to clean my vision first. I need to clean my heart first. I need to understand myself first before I pick into the other people's. Yeah. So I like to pick that quality if I can encourage that quality myself, not to pointing finger on others, just looking within myself.
Yeah, look within myself. And one thing, just to, it's a beautiful point you made, Mataji, and but just one thing to add here, which can help, in our understanding of kind of and appreciating other people, is remember, this is material world, right?
Ji.
And there are two characteristics of material world. First, it is, Gita says, chapter 8, it is Dukhalaya, and second is Ashashvatam.
Yes, definitely.
Dukhalaya means it is a place of misery. It is a place of, problems, the challenges, obstacles, and Shashvatam means it's temporary. So then whenever we are this is what I try to kind of do, that reflection a lot of times, that whenever we are dealing with people, remember they are also inflicted with these two things, as I am.
Yeah.
Nobody in the material world is spared.
No.
Right? Everybody is going through problems, and everything that is happening around us is, of course, bound to fall down one day, right?
Yeah.
Whether it is relationship, whether it is situations, whether it is things. So if we try to understand the temporary nature of everything around us, right, and see that, the other living entity is also grappling with their own set of material challenges, then I think it just helps us to kind of appreciate and kind of see what is in them, that they are doing good despite so many challenges that they have.
Yes.
Right? Nobody is going to be spared. Like I have my own set of, like they say that there is no, everybody has their set of problems. Everybody has different flavors. Right. So if we try to understand that, the other person is also grappling with their set of material challenges and situations, and or whatever is happening currently between me and them is a temporary situation, ultimately we are all going to leave. Now, nobody is going to be staying here permanently. So then that's fine. Then it helps us to just overcome and understand their situation better, and maybe there is something at that point of time they're going through that we can help with them. And that helps to strengthen the relationship and appreciate, their good qualities.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's Dukhalaya, everybody's inflicted, and our responses are actually on how we are responding to our Dukh here, or to our miseries here.
Yeah.
So sometimes those responses are good, sometimes those responses are not so good. Sometimes we are passing, sometimes we are failing.
Exactly.
When we are passing, those are moments of appreciation. Then we are failing, then those are moments of reflection, actually, rather than fault finding or
Yeah.
pinpointing. Yeah.
And thank you so much, Mother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well,
Vanita
just
Mataji.
one more point, Mataji.
Okay, good.
Just not to judge by the physical appearance. That is very, very crucial from this chapter, and it really reinforced. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Vanita Mataji, you're on mute. Did
Yes,
you want to ask a
sorry,
question?
yes, I couldn't raise my hand for some reason. So I was really, one thing I learned from this class today is, when you mentioned about Krishna consciousness, and you said that our consciousness comes with us after when we go, so it comes with us. It's just brilliant the way you put it. Until now, I never thought of that, but there's something which I learned today, that yes, our consciousness does come with us. And you're so right. It's brilliant the way you have put it, I mean, we know this, but we never think,
Yeah, actually, in one lecture, Srila Prabhupada explains this very nicely. He makes a statement which says that this life is actually a preparation for the next life. So whatever we are doing in this life, it will ultimately affect how we are shaping our next life. So if we want to stay connected to Krishna, then we remain in Krishna consciousness. If we don't want to, then yes, we can do anything we like